I would rather buy XPR instead of XLM. And even though nothing I say is financial advice, the way I take a look at it is that hypothetical upside, that's what I'm looking for here. And even though I'm not looking for a microcap, which I think is a little bit too risky, I do believe that something like XPR could hypothetically outperform something like XLM in the next 6 to 12 months. And here's the reason why. Because if let's say XPR were to go to the price of 25 cents, which is my price target for it during this bull run, that right there would be around a 47x from here. And it's not like it's even that crazy anyways, because if it were to go to that price, considering current circulating supply, at that point, market cap would be around $7 billion. It's not too bad again, right? We see XRP as of right now have a market cap of over $100 billion. Take a look at Dogecoin back in 2021, reaching over $80 billion in market cap. Also that year, Shiba Inu reached around $40 billion. I'm not saying that XPR is going to have these record-breaking figures, but I do believe that, again, naturally, because it is quote-unquote kind of low as of right now in the grand scheme of things in terms of market cap, just achieving like a little bit, which isn't even too unrealistic, again, around a $7 billion market cap, is already over a 40x from here. Again, to be a little bit more specific, around a 47x from here. And now, some people may think that, okay, it doesn't make sense to compare XPR to something like XLM. XLM has more fans, more hype. The fundamentals of the Stellar blockchain are absolutely fantastic. And I totally understand that. But again, what I'm arguing here is the hypothetical upside. And when we take a look at XLM, could it do a 47x in the next 6 to 10 months? No, it can't do that, in my opinion. Just think about this logically. If let's say XLM were to do 47x from here, at that point, the price would be around $15.50. And the market cap, considering current circulating supply, would be approximately $475 billion. Let's say for simplicity's sake, it's around $470 billion. Like even that is impossible in my opinion. Again, in the next 6 to 10 months for XLM. I'm not saying what could XLM be in 20, 30 years. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, again, within the time frame of 6 to 10 months, it can't do that in my opinion. It's just not realistic. Now, people may argue that, okay, this means that the XPR network is really bad and all you care about is the hypothetical upside. Well, here's the thing. We all know that the Stellar blockchain is known for its lightning fast speed. We all know that it has a very good perceived, reputation. People think it's very fantastic. But if people actually take a look at deeper when it comes to the XPR network, it really doesn't lose out that much in terms of fundamentals. I'm not saying that in terms of perceived fundamentals, but of course, I do take a look at this as something very special because again, when it comes to the XPR network, it's a proof-of-stake layer 1 blockchain. It may not seem like much in the grand scheme of things, but we take a look at why it's so special. It's because, for instance, right, it's even been stated that the XPR network provides an alternative to traditional payment systems like ACH and SWIFT, or even Visa and MasterCard. Now, they're doing all of this through an innovative resource model, so it's very impressive. Again, we're taking a look at giants here. SWIFT, Visa, MasterCard. This is really something special in my opinion. Now, not to mention, we take a look at when it comes to, the XPR network, it is ISO 20022 compatible as a blockchain, allegedly. So I think we're beginning to kind of see the similarities here when it comes to the Stellar blockchain and how, it's actually not too bad when compared to something, again, like a Stellar, aka XLM. Now, think about why this is so special. Again, ISO 20022. Now, this right here is currently being used by many financial institutions from all around the world for inter-organizational data exchange. So this right here, again, is something that is very widespread. It is very crucial, in my opinion, I would say arguably, in the finance space. And when you take a look at, again, the XPR network having an aspect of this, in a sense, right? This is very special. Now, I'm not diminishing Stellar by any means because, of course, Stellar is also very special. And again, when I say that, I think a lot of people are beginning to see how it's actually kind of similar to Stellar. Now, of course, again, Stellar has more fans, more hype. And I'm not saying that XPR is ever going to defeat Stellar, by the way, because I don't think that's ever going to happen, quite frankly, in the long term. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't need to. It's like, for instance, does Pepe, I'm talking about the meme coin here, right? Does that need to defeat Shiba Inu or Dogecoin to be considered a success? No, it doesn't need to do that. Much like XPR. Now, granted, though, sometimes when I talk about XPR, people think it's XRP for whatever reason, but it's actually not. It's actually a totally different project. But even despite that, XPR does share some similarities to XLM and XRP. More specifically, take a look at Stellar, again, aka XLM, and Ripple, aka XRP. The reason being is because XPR it's pretty much focused on the same markets as both, Stellar and as well as Ripple. Take a look at the global trade and finance market. We all know that's amazing, right? That right there is expected to be worth up to $5 trillion in value by 2028, according to Mordor Intelligence. So again, it's a big market. Not to mention as well, you take a look at the payments market, that is currently valued at over $2 trillion. So yeah, these are very large markets. Now, the thing about this whole space, in my opinion, is the fact that because of the Ripple and SEC case, which in my opinion, I've never understood, because if you take a look at XRP, I've never understood why people would even consider it a security. I mean, just imagine, right? If let's say I were to acquire XRP, does that automatically mean I own a part of Ripple? No, it does not. So how is that a security? I just don't get that. But even besides that, because of that case, a lot of developers, they were apprehensive to join in on this, right? Because they probably thought that, okay, we're going to make a project, we're going to use a lot of resources, a lot of time, a lot of effort. And then it's going to be in a space that, granted, has a lot of hypothetical potential, but then there's a lot of bad stigma, or should I say like a reputation that people may think that, okay, may not be the best. Now, because of that, there wasn't that many developers willing to enter this space. And as a result, it's actually a blessing in disguise, because now there's no clear like number 4, number 5, number 6, if you get what I mean, right? When it comes to this space, it's because there isn't that many dynamic competitors, because not many developers wanted to join. Now XPR has the opportunity to really become something special, because it's still kind of up for grabs, the number 4, number 5, number 6 place, right? But XPR hypothetically does have the potential to do that, which is why I believe in it. Now, why would this bull run be bad? There's over 600 million crypto owners, according to Crypto.com research, which is more than ever before in history. Take a look at the Bitcoin ETF, the Ethereum ETF, the number of institutional investors. I mean, it's all through the roof, but it's just a waiting game, really. Now, am I saying that XLM is going to do bad? No, it's not going to do bad, in my opinion. It's going to do good. But I think XPR could hypothetically do a lot better, which is why it is the winner here for me. Again, it's not like I even hypothetically have to wait that much longer anyways, because usually altcoins, as a worst case scenario, they typically peak around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. Now, the last Bitcoin halving event happened back last year in April, so 18 months from then is actually around October this year. Now, this is not a guaranteed thing, because there's no telling when things are really going to ever peak. As a worst case scenario, it could maybe happen earlier, which would be awesome, or maybe a little bit later, which would be fine, because I'll accumulate more anyways. But still, even despite that, if I could only put all my eggs into one basket for the next 6 to 10 months, XPR or XLM, it's going to have to be hands down XPR. Sometimes people say they want to look for the next XLM, but then they FOMO into XLM. Now, personally, I wouldn't do that, even though no one has to copy what I'm doing. The reason is because how can I find the quote-unquote next big thing? Again, in this case, how can I find the next XLM if I'm entering into the big thing right now, if that makes sense? The only way I can find the next big thing is if I find something that could hypothetically be big, if that makes sense logically, right? Which is why, instead of acquiring XLM, I'd much rather acquire XPR. Again, focus on the same markets. Fundamentals are not really too far off. I get it. It doesn't have the reputation, but still, fundamentals are not too far off. Way lower market cap. I think it's a no-brainer pick for me, and it is the winner here. And that's why I'm choosing XPR instead of XLM as of right now. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. Greatly appreciated. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.